Hello, and welcome to the subscriptions talk for books released July 11th, 2012. A lot of good books here, a lot of books that seem like they're going to change into something a lot better. It seems like, some stories are wrapping up. It seems like they're going to start some new storylines here, and it seems like there's some that are just trying to explain what's going on right now, too. So I'll just start off. Straight off the bat, got Deathstroke number 11. This was the least favorite book I got this week. I have these ordered from least favorite to pick of the week. And it just, it wasn't that good. I hope the best for Deathstroke every time. And, maybe it has something to do with Rob Liefeld, I'm not sure. But it just seems to me that nothing has happened up until this issue. And this issue is, kind of there's finally confrontation. Finally, Lobo and Deathstroke are fighting each other. And as you can see on the cover here, the subtitle is Lobo Triumphant, and that's exactly what it is. They go through the whole story, and they finally track down Lobo, and they find him. And Lobo and Deathstroke fight, and although Deathstroke does put up quite a bit of a fight, it's discovered that Lobo has an incredible healing factor, and he just destroys Deathstroke. And the final panel it ends with Lobo holding Deathstroke triumphant and saying the world's going to end. Alright book, but nothing really phenomenal here. Swamp Thing number 11. This is only like the third book I have gotten of this, so I'm not entirely sure of what's all going on in this. It's alright. It has Swamp Thing versus the king of the rot, Arcane, and every time he gets a wound, it turns into a mouth. So there's obviously some great artwork coming out of there. This whole book is just gorgeous artwork. Maybe that's what it was a little off-putting to me, is I was actually spending more time looking at the artwork than actually reading the story, so I couldn't fully focus on the story. Abigail sees into a portal into Rot World, and says they have to leave, but upon trying to, escape, Animal Man and his family appear and say that Animal Man and Swamp Thing must team up and go into Rot World. And if you've watched my other video, you've known that I am subscribed to Animal Man as well, and both of those are going to be released the 1st of next month, I believe, and it's going to be like the Rot World prologue, and they're going to enter into Rot World, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm a big Animal Man fan, so having Swamp Thing team up with them, maybe that'll help me like the New 52 Swamp Thing more. But, another good book. Batman number 11. Now, I'm probably going to catch something for having this so low, because I wasn't a really big fan of this book. I don't know, for some reason I was bitter while reading it. I think I'm just over this Court of the Owls storyline. It was good, yes, but I think it was drug on too long. Although this issue was important for the storyline, it wasn't necessary, but I don't know. For some reason, I'm just ready to go. It starts out, there's great fight scenes between him and his, quote-unquote brother. There's a scene where his brother throws him into, a jet engine, and he grabs onto the end, and he's holding on, and he eventually escapes, as Batman always does. And then another beautiful scene where his brother's holding him by the throat, and he's gonna blow up Wayne Industries, and he does. Batman escapes, as always. The theme of this book seems Batman escapes. That should be what it shouldn't even be called. Batman. The series should be called Batman Escapes. I'm sorry, I'm still bitter for this issue. I don't know why, but he escapes, and all of Wayne Tower falls down, and Batman talks to I can't remember who he talks to. I don't know, it's slipped my mind right now, but he talks to him about how he's not sure if it's actually his brother, that there's no true way to tell whether it is or isn't. And then there's, a nice scene at the end with him and Alfred in the graveyard talking. So, it was a good book, but like I said, I don't know, for some reason I'm bitter. I hope the next storyline is as good as this one, though. It was a phenomenal storyline. Maybe, I don't know, my patience just, I honestly have nothing else to say. But it was a good issue. Obviously, it wasn't first, so I didn't hate it. But, on to the next one. This is The New Avengers, number 28. The only reason I really subscribed to this in the first place is for the Mike Deodato artwork. I'm a big fan of his artwork. The storyline in this book, I actually enjoyed it. I saw some other reviews that people said that they weren't a big fan of it. They didn't even talk much about it. They just said in passing they weren't a fan. But I actually like this issue a lot. It has Spider-Woman, Luke Cage, and Hawkeye, all of them on the cover there, like imprisoned by Cyclops and the X-Men. And there's a great Warpath appearance in here. I always like seeing Warpath. He's one of those B characters that I really enjoy. But they're imprisoned, and they eventually, work their own little ways to get out. And it shows Spider-Woman just destroying Warpath, and that's just something that I feel, even though Warpath is a B character, I feel like he'd put up a little more fight than that. And then it actually has Luke Cage with like a full beard and hair in here because he's been in jail. That reminded me of like the older Power Man Luke Cage. But Luke Cage takes out Colossus, and then they all end up escaping off of the prison. But it ends up just being a simulation of them escaping the prison, and they're still basically they're still confined by the X-Men. It's just simulations. They live out in a loop, and then the last page is they're entering back into the loop, I guess you could say. So I mean, I like this. I did, especially Deodato artwork. Big fan. Avengers vs. X-Men, the Versus series, 4 of 6. 2 fights in here. First one, well, there's 2 fights in all of them, I guess, but the first one is Daredevil versus Psylocke, and I saw somebody else review this. I think it might have been CapnCummings, and he said if you guess who would win the first one, you're probably right. But I couldn't guess, and I mean I thought about it for a while and I couldn't decide, and I guess that might be what he was inferring, because it actually became being a draw. They both, Psylocke tried entering Daredevil's mind, and his hyper senses kind of drew him off, and then he talked her out of killing him, and it was a draw. But the battle between Thor and Emma Frost was legendary. Blew my mind. There's a scene where Thor destroys her in her diamond form, and like all her pieces go flying up into the air. But upon coming down, they start hitting Thor and destroying him. And then he's weakened by that, and he just finishes him off. But it was gorgeous. It was the best battle, I think, from the Versus series that I've seen yet. So big fan of this issue. Avengers Assemble, number 5. I actually wanted this to be second to last because this one fought for pick of the week, but it didn't quite get there. But Rocket Raccoon, always like seeing Rocket Raccoon in an issue because the Guardians of the Galaxy are in here. But a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy I can do without is Bug. I can't handle the tick that it is every time he talks. Can't handle it. Mark Bagley does a wonderful job in the art in this issue. The story is that Thanos, it's become known that Thanos sent them to this other world, like on the other side of the galaxy, so he could do things on Earth, and they wouldn't be there for it. The aliens actually tell them that they asked Thanos if they just wanted to kill them, and Thanos actually killed the guy who asked him just for asking. And Gamora said she's the reason that he doesn't want to kill him. And Thanos actually sends lackeys to steal important, powerful items from the Earth so he can later use them to conquer the Earth. And it's said that there was like an international government that said you're not allowed to touch Earth, like it's untouchable, you shouldn't be messing with it. So that just made Thanos want to do it even more. And that's why Thanos is my favorite character. But I mean, the final panel is them flying off to confront Thanos, and it's going to be a great issue. I can't wait for the next one. And as the cover portrays here, there is a great scene in there where Black Widow and Hawkeye get, kind of involved. Dark Avengers 177. This is kind of an issue that's just kind of explaining, and it's leading into storylines. Cover here has Doom of the Past, Death in the Future. It's actually the two kind of storylines that are going on, and they're going to connect eventually, but has Doctor Doom fighting the old Thunderbolts in the past, and then it has Luke Cage and the Dark Avengers, the quote-unquote new Thunderbolts, fighting this new guy named Sultan Magus. And this was a good issue. I liked it, but like I said, it's kind of explaining what's going on, and I can't wait for the storylines to collide so then you can actually see what happens. Biggest surprise about this book, though, at the end, there's a character, as the Thunderbolts are sent into the future, there's a character, and he looks exactly like Judge Dredd. So I don't know what that's about. It just really threw me off, and I was really confused by it. So, I mean, who knows? I just, wait for the next one. Pick of the week, Uncanny XForce 27. this is one of the only books that has brought actual feelings from me. Like, I don't really have feelings for most of these books. I just read them and enjoy them for their content. But this is one of the books that actually bring feelings from me. On the cover, you got Skinless Man. Yeah, what an original name. But, in the story was really good, too. Sabretooth and the Blob actually capture Evan, which is Kid Apocalypse, the Kid Apocalypse who Phantom X has been raising to be a good guy. And then, eventually, Phantom X dies. Skinless Man kills him, rips his heart out, and kills him. And it's pretty crazy, but his ship, Eva, it's like his nervous system that flies around, crashed and then evolved into a being. Upon death, the Super Sentinel, Ultimaton, who he had controlled to raise Evan, turned back into a Sentinel, and he's back to killing mutants. So, I mean, this issue had a lot went on, and, I mean, I hope Phantom X isn't gone for, forever. Nobody's gone forever in the Marvel Universe, but I hope he's not gone for a good long time, because I'm a big fan of Phantom X, and I hope he comes back. But, I mean, I can't wait for the next issue. This blew my mind, and, like I said, one of the only issues that brought, feelings to me. So, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I recommend picking up this book, this Uncanny X-Force, if you're not, because it's a very underappreciated story, I believe. It's not getting a lot of, publicity or anything. Nobody's really talking about it, but I feel like it's one of the greatest things happening right now, other than the Avengers vs. X-Men. So, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I don't really have anything planned other than maybe a rant video beginning of next week. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and remember, have a great day.